5 seconds or so, and
Yep.
the host will take it away.
Alrighty.
Okay.
All right, 1, 2. Oh, well, never mind.
Hey everybody, this is the main event of the evening. Miinfin's going to be running the messenger, and from what I've seen of the little bit I know about it, when he's talked it up, it's going to be a great run. So before we get going, I just want to thank everybody. It's been a crazy weekend. $1,065 is nuts, and we're not even done yet. So thank you so much to everybody who's donated. Thank you so much to everyone that's here right now for the main event of the weekend. miinfin, take it away, bud.
Hey, how's everybody doing today? My name is miinfin, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys the Messenger 80% No Out of Bounds. Messenger is a heavily inspired by Ninja Gaiden. It takes place in 8-bit, 16-bit, turns into a Metroidvania which swaps between the two different styles, and we get to do some crazy things and glitches. Joining me today is going to be 7D Sins and Fruity Waffles, members of the Bamboo crew. Go ahead and introduce yourself, guys.
What's going on? My name is 7D. As miinfin mentioned, I am a runner of this game. I actually run this category most of the time when I stream. I love this category. It's amazing. This particular game is very heavily played in the 8-bit category, but you don't really see the any percent. There's a lot of really cool things happen in this run.
Hey, I'm Fruity Waffles. I haven't gotten to this long of a category yet. It is very tough and very demanding. Much respect to all the 80% runners.
Yeah. So for the most parts, like, I'll chime in every now and then, but 7D and Fruity are going to be doing most of the talking for me, because when it comes to complex stuff, I can't talk and play at the same time. It looks bad. So they'll get to explain all the tech and stuff, and I just get to make it look good. So with that being said, are you guys ready to go?
Absolutely.
Yep.
As ready as you are.
All right, so here we go in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Good luck, have fun.
So like miinfin mentioned, this is The Messenger. One of the best indie games really ever made in the last 10 years. Where's the light? This game is amazing. There's actually a little bit of tech here even in the beginning of the game. So as these text boxes end, you actually are supposed to be holding the jump button and one other button as well to be scrolling text speed. But at the end of the text box, if you're holding jump, Ninja will actually go for a full hop. So here we want to be making sure that we are letting go of the jump button as soon as we can, but holding it as long as possible to be skipping through text. So there's actually a little bit of optimization here in the first level.
Nothing too major here, just walking through our good old ninja village, practicing cloud steps for when we get to actually use them later in the run. And there's a little short hop too, that saves a little bit of time.
Yeah, and that was the thing I was talking about before, where if you're holding jump for that text box, Ninja will jump back pretty far. Our good friend, we don't really know who he is. He's on a phoenix. He shoots this big guy, and he's got this big piece of paper that we really don't know what it is. But there's a big, really scary guy with a giant weapon, so we decide that he's really important, and we talk to him.
And you saw there he got what's called a time shard. That's essentially the currency of this game. We're going to be needing quite a few of those to go through some of the upgrades that are going to help a lot throughout the run.
The time shard management is actually very crucial, particularly in this run, because we end up getting so many upgrades. Whereas the 8 and 16-bit categories, you're only getting a couple.
Yeah. In the two shorter categories, after Crags, you don't buy upgrades. And then you make 3 other stops with much larger shard counts in any percent.
So here you're going to be seeing the first use of what's called, there we go, a T-boost, or turtle boost. So we slap turtles to go fast in this game. Every time you would come into contact with a hitbox that has more than 1 health, the game sort of has like a pushback mechanic so that you don't run into it. But if you reverse your direction right as you slash, you'll actually get boosted in that position. So you can use that to go a lot faster than you would normally be able to.
You saw he actually got one on the block as he walked by it. So it's not only the turtles we can slap; it's whatever we
Yep,
can
it's
get.
pretty
our
much
hands on.
everything, but it just became called the T-Boost just because it's fun to say.
Yeah.
And here we got our first upgrade, which is to slash enemy projectiles, which is probably the most important upgrade. Well, I don't know about the most important, but the most used for sure.
Oh yeah.
And the first, this game is
Ow.
actually really interesting in how it sort of stacks the difficulties. You get used to one mechanic, and they introduce you to another, and so on and so forth. And as you progress, you get better at the game. So the first stage, there's not a whole lot going on, except there's a couple T-boosts in this room that can make it kind of hard. But miinfin opting for the safe strats, which respect. Oh, and he went for the knife. Oh, perfect. That's actually pretty difficult. Every spike actually has more than one. There's a left and a right pixel to it. So if you get hit on the left, you get boosted left, and you get hit on the right, you get boosted right. So that obviously seems pretty simple. You split it right down the middle, but Ninja's hitbox is actually a lot bigger than you'd expect. So those can be kind of hard to line up. So nicely done.
Just jump from the same spot every time, forehead.
Mm-hmm. Except it's not quite that
Just
simple.
be a task bot. Yeah.
A little bit of water. We like to take the jet streams.
Also, shout out to Rainbow Dragon Eyes for the awesome music that you have a muffled sound when you hit underwater, so that's just great.
Yeah. Amazing
Yes.
sound design and soundtrack for this game. Really good stuff.
Every level has a really unique theme, and it's pretty exciting. Ooh, a nice, really nice tower, spike tower skip. There's a couple different ways you can do that, but that ends up saving. There's lots of little things like that in this game that add up. It's kind of like, sort of like the Super Metroid, if you will, where there's so many tiny little optimizations that add up. It's not just like, one big skip. Albeit this category does have a couple crazy skips that are important, but still that idea of just little tiny optimizations here and there.
Yeah, that's the thing with this game is the skill floor isn't too high. You can, get a solid time in this game without too much. But then the skill ceiling starts to, really get up there. That's when you start getting into the tougher optimizations, some of the crazy strats.
Yeah.
Something
that
as
can be
simple
done.
as like hitting that cap falling down there is actually a lot harder than you think, because you have to make sure you got that right momentum to keep going, but you only turn left just so that you get that one pixel turn. It's these things add up. The Ninja's doing a great job.
Yeah, for sure.
Ow, I wanted to jump there.
Complicated first.
We didn't say anything.
Didn't see what.
So we got another shot coming up. The number we want for shards is 130, so no issue there. We're going to be getting the second wind, which is an aerial recovery, and the shurikens, which will let us one cycle this first boss here.
Funny part is, you see shurikens multiple times its level before you even know what they are.
Yeah.
It's true, yeah, you're getting key refills for them before you even get them. This is our good old friend Pile of Leaves. He's relatively simple to one cycle, although you have to get pretty close to him, so it can be a little scary. The most optimal way to kill him, where you land on the very far side of him on the right, is called the Scary Berry, named after one of our best players. Miinfin's still opting to go for a really good, clean one cycle.
Yeah, no, there's really only a few runners that will ever go for a scary berry.
Yeah, save 2.5 seconds or lose 12. Take your pick.
Yeah, that's not a risk I'm willing to take.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't get to stay in this level for long, but we'll be back.
Yeah, scariest level in the game, just not right now.
Yeah. Yeah, here's our underground level, starting the catacombs, and our friend Necro. We're going to be saving his friends later. A little bit of an awkward cycle sometimes they hit here.
Yeah, this catacombs is pretty much the level of cycles. So pretty much every room has its unique cycle. A very nice first cycle there. And here we get to see our first instance of Ruxton. Hi, Ruxton.
Hi,
Hey,
Ruxton.
everybody.
Hi, guys. Oh, he's too scared, so he doesn't want to fight. He'll send his minions, so. Nice cleanup.
Now, there's one particular tech here which can save a few seconds, but for marathon safety, I am not going for it because you have about a 2-frame window to succeed, or you die.
Yeah, those are hard, and that was the before mentioned spikes. How they have two sides to them, and you have to put Ninja's fat swimming body onto one half of a spike, and that's not exactly easy. You see how flat that man looks?
All in the name of beating a cycle, but
to be fair,
For
myself and another runner had actually gone through one stream and figured out exactly how to get it consistent. Because I know exactly how to get it every time. It's just the hopping up the wall. Sometimes I have slippery feet, and I don't climb.
Yeah, making that gap can be scary of the Crusher.
This is one of my favorite rooms. It's such a simple optimization there where you want to make sure you're walking on those moving platforms as much as possible. And then here's another instance of the water damage boost here, where you just kind of mash the jump button and act like you never took damage.
Alright.
That one actually doesn't save too much time, because there's a room ahead here where we need to get a health potion, because there's an even bigger damage boost, so... Not going for that damage boost over the spikes actually doesn't save too much. Or sorry, lose too much.
Coming up to one of the most interesting early game skips. This is called the Donkadunk. So here we try to get a cloud step loaded into the room as we drop into it. And he got it. Let's go! He didn't fall onto the cutscene trigger, so that actually is still there, that cutscene trigger. So when we come back to this area, we need to make sure that we don't trigger it. Really nicely done.
Yeah, one of the most interesting, but easily the most infuriating, because it's two very tight windows. I want to say 2 or 3 frames that you have to get for the cloud step and for...
Yeah, it's hard.
But it saves you 10 seconds, or no, it saves you 7 seconds.
Either, because you can have like the perfect setup and just be too close and then you cling. Thank you, Ninja. Ninja loves clicking to things. He just likes hugging things.
Yeah. Well, what that skip was another one of those Ruxton gauntlets where you would have thrown 3 of these wizard guys out of. Yeah, you have to wait for one of them.
I'm sorry.
First cycle, wow, yum.
Great.
Was that ballsy?
That room is scary, and I go for the fast strat every time, and it kills me every run.
You're talking about going for marathon strats, and you go for that.
That was beautiful.
That's because that one's easy for me.
So, hi, Ruxton. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, buddy.
Hopefully he's gonna be nice to us.
Yeah.
So
Hi, Ruxton. If anybody has any Ishby highs, do them in chat. They're lucky.
Look how short he is. That robe doesn't fit as well, does he? Oh,
it's okay. This version of the fight looks a lot cooler.
So the low fight, you actually get to see more of sort of a technical fight, as opposed to just kind of wailing on him in the ceiling. But no fights.
You could have just went up to the top platform at the start, and that is about 7 seconds faster on a meh fight. I think it's like 5.5 on a perfect fight.
Yeah, but we're not all Grons, so...
Yeah. 5.5 for Grandius, like 7 for us mortals.
Interestingly enough, you can his staff has a hitbox. You can rope dart that. New Game Plus.
Yeah, we make sure we step on his toes too if he doesn't go high.
Yeah, he's a meaty.
Yeah. Oh, you got the song?
Oh, it's not loud enough. Never mind.
Oh no, you can get it on the second loop.
Ah, that wasn't supposed to do that way. That's what happens when you have a bad turtle boost.
We come back to bamboo, so we can do the song later.
Oh, don't worry, I got it on the loop.
Okay.
This song that I'm about to sing is a big meme in the community. Actually tweeted out by the maker of the music himself, Rainbow Dragon Eyes. This guy's the legend. I'm gonna wait for the cycle of the music to let it play out once this song is beautiful.
Oh, what the? Okay. Sure, that sword slash goes right through that skull out.
Yeah, we got our friend the Wanderer there. I'm sure it won't become anything more than that later. Yeah, Bamboo's a really gorgeous level. Awesome song. Woo! A lot of fun strategy.
Nice one tile for safety.
Holy, nice backup.
Nice.
Yeah, most prominent of the strats in this level will be coming up in the next room here. It's called the N2 skip or the R2 N2 skip, whichever you may please. saves a good 5 or 6 seconds, I think, in this room.
Really cool.
Let's see.
Concept here.
Ooh,
Nice.
quick one tile too.
For normal N2, which requires a 1 tile at the end, really nicely done.
Yeah, there's a cool setup you can do where you get a little bit of extra height and you don't need to go for that tricky 1 tile, but it's a whole different
Chinese
trick
food.
at that point.
Chinese food is good for you. I like to eat Chinese food, and Chinese food is yummy too. If you like me too, you will bring me Chinese food because it is so yummy. Did I mention I like Chinese food?
Beautiful.
So much better than I would do it.
Dragon Eyes, that is a beautiful lyric, and I'm so happy that you made it.
Yeah, that's just great. So here's another shard cutoff. We want to see 251 here, so it is good, fortunately. There's going to be a couple more upgrades in the next level at Howling Grotto.
Wow, those drops are bad.
Those platforms troll too, just like they troll me in all my runs.
That drop sucks. Yeah, we're going to be getting the Underwater Dash, which normally in 8-bit linear is only used once throughout the run, but fortunately 80% there's a lot more cool tricks with it. And then we're about to get another item upgrade called the Wingsuit, and the shop upgrade that we're going to get will let us do a downward slash with the Wingsuit out.
And that's probably the most important thing that we collected just now was obviously the wingsuit in order to progress that we used, like you saw on the vents there. But the pogo or wingsuit attack is really, really cool. It has lots of different uses. Obviously, the pogo, if you play Donkey Kong games or
Like
DuckTales. DuckTales is a really, really amazing game if you've never played before. Shout outs to OG. This stage is pretty much, for the most part, kind of clean movement. There's not a whole lot of things that go on to the stage. It's just kind of pretty interesting uses of the wingsuit combined with the vent, which can actually give you a lot of momentum upwards. Cool boosts. There's actually something coming up right here. That was real low. This right here is called DK route. Hopefully we can go for a DK skip.
I goofed up my stuff, so
But
nope.
Yep. No, I've never made it except once.
Yeah, it's a pretty tight cycle. If you just kind of ram your face into the first saw, if you're quick enough in the room, you can beat the second saw, and you don't have to walk behind it.
You also have to make sure that you've got that T-boost, like a perfect T-boost on the first Kappa in the room.
I don't do a T-boost version.
It's like right in the way.
Yeah, you can opt out of the T-boost, but the T-boost in my eyes just makes the window a lot easier. But it's a bit of a tricky one to get down.
See, like right there, if we didn't have the wingsuit attack, we wouldn't have been able to hit that boulder and jump. We would have had to fall on the ground and then hit the...
Whee!
Ooh, nice. And so that's an example of a small yeet. So the swim boost, as Fergie was talking about, carries over us at max momentum. Well, if you jump out of right at the beginning, and we can do some really cool stuff with that. You pretty much maintain that speed as long as you don't get hit. So you can just keep jumping off of stuff and pogoing off of everything, and it's a blast. It's amazing.
Unfortunately, that's the one yeet that we ever see in 8-bit linear. But for the rest of the game, there's a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, that's what makes 90% so beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Whiz trolls.
Hey. Alright.
The counting boss.
Hope you got your 7s ready.
Hey, that's me.
So the way this guy works is you hit the center core 8 times, but we do that 7, get as close as we can to the vent, and then throw a shuriken. And that lets us get a 2 cycle on the top ring.
And interestingly enough, the way you do this fight is very important, the amount of times that you get hit, because the second phase of this fight, you kind of need to have 2 health. He becomes just a core, so he's about to see right now, he drops down and his bone breaks. Just bad man, I hope he's dead. So now he's going to fly up, and it's an RNG whether or not he goes right or left. So yeah, if he goes left, you're on the left side, you're going to take 1 hit. So,
I dodged it, but got the low.
yeah, really nice.
Yeah, that's a very important thing with this fight is you want to end it as low as you can, and you want to try and end it with a shuriken, because the slash will put you up a little bit higher, and as you saw, we had to fall down to the bottom, and that's really bad.
Yeah,
You
because
can also end it not in the wingsuit, which will put you even lower on the screen because you're not like in the animation of gliding. There's lots of like little things that'll add. Again, tiny optimizations.
Yep. That's what this game's all about.
mm-hmm.
One of my favorite levels, Close Room. The lore to this level is really, really spooky. So the idea is all the previous messengers that died in this area are all of the walking mushrooms and stuff, and they are forced to sing the song of the song in the background. So you see like their mouths moving and stuff with the music, like they're actually singing it. So
This is a great track though. So I wouldn't mind that personally. This is a fun room. This is the longest horizontal room in the game, so much so that it has 2 checkpoints.
it used to be considered just hold right the room.
Yeah.
Because of the beautiful T-boosts that we have found out, there are ways to optimize this room as well. And if you get just enough T-boosts in this room, there's one particular cycle that you can sort of get right in front of with a spike ball. And that's really nice. Otherwise, that spike ball can control you. This one right here.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I think 6 clean boosts is what you want to beat this cycle, and then you can the crazy segmented run that we did. I think it had 10 or 11 T boosts.
You can get 12 T boosts in that room.
It's up to 12 now.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
you can get 2 T boosts per turtle because you can get one on the front and one on the back. The front boosts are a little bit harder than the back boosts are, but
Yeah.
being able to do both consistently is really awesome.
Yeah. Here's where we're gonna see the lanterns start to sing and the mushrooms.
Another really cool room. You can just to not take damage, and these 3 rooms back to back just really show you how.
Yeah,
just
there's like-
concept,
Yeah. There's like 10 different ways you can do each room, and
every runner does it differently, but it all looks nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, not to mention the fact that we skipped 2 checkpoints in this level. So, don't die.
So that was a nice setup there where we could throw those 2 shurikens and not have to jump up there and slash. This room is kind of obnoxious to get by everything in here.
Yeah, a little bit. That shuriken strat.
Nice.
That shuriken strat was discovered by the great Koopa 555.
Hopefully we'll be
Woo!
seeing his
A little bit of bullying.
Hansan in turquoise. Revere turquoise. Yeah, mayhaps.
Yeah. I'm hoping to see a slide. Are we gonna see a slide, miinfin?
I mean, yeeting is my favorite thing to do in this game. What do you think?
Yeah, I was about to say, if it's the only thing you can do it
There's a checkpoint right before the slide. You gotta. You
You
gotta.
You gotta go for the mic. Are we going left side? Hey, that was beautiful. Nice.
Yeah, that's a bit of a
That can be
scary
little
cycle.
difficult. And clean
If
that
you're
up.
crazy fast in that room, you can make it around the right side of the platform before it even hits the wall, but you get squished if you're a little bit too slow, so not fun.
Shout outs to Kaningas for that
We
strat.
have one of the most annoying bosses. Really cool if done well. You can sort of follow her up in the air, and based on which side she goes, we can either slash with sword on right or shuriken left. And she has particular ideas of what she's going to do. So this fight is moderately scripted if you can deal the exact right amount of damage every time. But we can't always do that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, this whip attack is basically an 8-second cutscene.
yeah. And now here
One
she's
more
starting
hit.
to jump up, and yep, nice
There
shot.
we go.
Oof.
Yeah, that's a rough strat to get down.
I've,
The
missed
damage
that.
window was pretty tricky to get.
Actually,
I've missed out the
speaking of
last 3
cutscenes,
runs.
You saw Ninja just kind of freak out. He looked around like, "What's happening?" There's something that happens there where a character that we haven't seen yet that looks strikingly like that green thing that you just saw was supposed to appear, and text boxes happen, and they're just like looking at both of them like, "Wow, what's going on?" But yeah, if you don't die up to this point, then you don't see that cutscene. So it's a nice little developer intended thing where you go fast, but you went even faster. Congratulations.
Speaking of fast, time for the rope dart.
The thing that breaks the game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
it
our
breaks the
magical
game
tool.
in so many ways, and funnily enough, it breaks the game in the stage you get it in.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this lets us not only go faster horizontally, we can use it to climb faster. We can use it to yeet off of things, like it just does everything. Use the
Everything
teleport
involves
even.
two and more. Yeah, even the teleport. It's a simple piece of rope.
Ooh, nice lantern. Really tough not to hit those spikes.
That's a
Ooh, here we go.
room.
Slide time.
Nope.
Ah.
I was holding wingsuit and it didn't happen. I was like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah, at that point you kind of have to back out. There's a fun little strat there where you just keep the hook yeet speed and glide to the bottom. It's a bit slower, but it's very cool.
It's hard. So here we're coming up to the first leash. So the idea behind this glitch is pretty much think of the rope dart being attached to this enemy at all times. When the rope dart, whatever rope dart connects with something, the game is programmed that rope dart fully contracts.
And I goofed that. I'm going to do a backup real quick.
Okay, yeah, just touch the yeah, that's fine. So here, the game's programmed that when you touch the rope dart to something, it's programmed to fully contract and then hit the enemy with Ninja Sword. So if you take damage while the rope dart is active onto something, the game thinks that the rope dart is just constantly being connected to this target. So what you can do with that is when you change the screen, because
okay, hold on.
they're connected, quote unquote, to your rope dart, you can take that enemy onto another screen and use it to get to places that you wouldn't be able to.
And this is why I grabbed that save.
But this trick is difficult. This movement here is a bit of a pain, because you gotta kite the bird all the way over here, and he doesn't like to do what you want him to.
Yeah, this right here is why I like to run New Game Plus, because we get a nice item in New Game Plus that just completely prevents this leash from even.
Yeah, you think the rope dart is broken.
And this item, you can't see it, but there's a whole side quest that you have to go. You have to get an item, return back here way later in the game. But who does that? We go fast.
Yep.
This is the first major sequence break, and that entire quest line to get to this normally takes roughly 10 to 15 minutes. So we just cut that entire thing out.
Yeah, it's a huge. And that's not going to be the last time you see leashing ever, either. So yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. The next one is a little bit more rough. This one you only have to carry the bird, into the next screen. But coming up, well, I'll just let it speak for itself.
I think the leash itself is a bit easier. But
yeah, getting the leash itself is fine. But then,
yeah, it's the part after.
After that.
Yeah, because if you rope dart again, you'll break the leash. So.
Yeah, that's the biggest caveat, that you can't rope dart, and it's the section where you're normally spamming the rope dart. So it's interesting.
Ooh, nice.
Right side of this room is really painful, and it's everyone goes for it every time, but no one ever gets for it.
Yeah,
that was abnormally bad for me.
It's so satisfying when you get it, though.
Yeah, that was abnormally bad for me, though.
This is the first big case of RNG. So these guys can do a plethora of attacks. The thing that you want to do the most is a combo attack, because you get to get damage on both of them at the same time for periods of time. And quick swaps can be nice as well, where those come in, like I think this is a quick swap. No, it's a combo attack. Okay, so this is nice. We get a little bit extra damage on both.
Yeah.
And that attack's a bit of a troll. If you don't go above it, it's going to do damage to you a lot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is a solid pattern. You definitely don't want to see a team attack at the end. If you did a team attack, you want it at the start.
I didn't want the elbow that he gave. I had already wiped out Susis. I didn't want that team attack.
Yeah, that can happen. So the way that, just like other fights, the damage gates, even if you've quote unquote killed one of the two of the bosses, they'll still do their attacks, even if they're at the one's at the perfect health, the other one's just dead. He's still there.
Seeing a Susis start with that boulder is really nice, because you can pretty much always get enough damage.
Oh yeah.
Shovel please.
Shovel please.
This music. Oh god, it's so good.
So as most games go, you get your item, and then after that you get a level to really have fun with it, and this is the really have fun level.
Yeah, Glacial Peak is a really, really cool vertical climb level. It's a combination of, because it's not just vertical climbing. It's there's a lot of horizontal and then vertical sections here. So really cool combination movement here. pretty much rope dart everything is the messenger mantra, and you see it in full effect here. This particular climb can be a little difficult trying to opt for that optimal right side at the end. That's going to be difficult. And every time miinfin goes for one of the, like right here, where he rope darts and doesn't cling to the wall, it's called a Hansan, named after the runner that figured those out. And every single bit of that, every one of those is just a little bit more time that you save. There's so many Hansans in this run. Coming up in a little bit, there's actually, hopefully, we'll see the first just import of the run. So the way just imports work is that a lot of the times, similar to what I was talking about previously, the way that rope darts when it connects to something, it has to fully finish its animation. If you kill an enemy while you're rope darting to it, when your rope dart is finally contracted, the game becomes confused and it tries to put you on the enemy that you just killed. So here we're going to see there's two enemies of the same type on screen, and he's going to teleport to the other one. Right? Nicely done. Those are really hard. You pretty much have to have perfect movement up to that point in order to get those. So nicely done.
Yeah, we call it a teleport, but it's essentially dragging you really, really quickly to the other enemy.
What's fun thing is...
Sorry, you go.
I was going to say, fun thing is, we just recently found out exactly how that works from the devs in a Dev React video.
Oh, yeah.
You're not killing another enemy. You are killing the same enemy you just killed. That's why you connect to it. It's interesting.
Yeah. So we got a little bit of a break before the most stressful level, at least in the 8-bit run. There's not, like, the strats themselves in Tower aren't too bad, but they are very punishing, because there's a lot of lasers that do a lot of damage.
Yeah, there's a reason that runners call this Tower of Tears, or Tower of Time Loss.
Tower of Tricks, Tower of Terror.
It's really not that bad, like you said, but yeah, there are some punishing strats in there for sure.
Yep. A little bit of waiting first. Yeah, these lasers do 4 damage. The spikes in the level do 3. Everything is trying to basically just kill your face.
Yeah, this is the ultimate test. Make sure that you are indeed worthy of the title being the messenger.
Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah,
No
this is
help.
really cool. Sorry, you go.
I was going to say, not in a marathon.
Hail Mary is hard.
Yeah.
I respect that. I would have died. I would have went for it.
Yeah, there's a couple of damage boosts. One where the first one you just ram your face into the laser, and then the other you have to be really quick leading up to it, but you use the Wizro projectile for 1 damage to make it through the rest of the room, and it saves 5 to 6 seconds around that. But of course, very scary.
Nice.
Fun little damage boost
That
here.
Wizro can be kind of annoying, but you have a very limited time to hit him before he teleports away on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was a nice rip there.
Pretty quick. Oh, of course, annoying Wizro. That's really unfortunate.
They're trolls.
Their positioning is random. They love getting in your way.
Yeah. There's a strat.
Ooh,
Nice.
nice.
Good Levy special. There's a
Yeah,
strat
that-
coming up that requires 5 HP if you're going for a little skip, but unfortunately, the Wiz trolls.
Ooh, I got that close.
Clean.
Really nice cycle.
So you just saw an example of, I don't exactly know if there's a name for it. There probably is. There's a name for everything. Shout out to Calberry. But you can basically hit a switch through another side of the wall. And that's used to sequence break a few things, like that room previously, and a few things coming up as well. So definitely
There's a
not
very
far.
cool strat you can do here with 4 HP, where you hit the spikes and then climb, but it's a really tight window. Hitting the laser and climbing isn't bad, but the spikes one we call French connection. That's a tough strat for sure.
That section is particularly difficult because it's not just rope dart climbing up a normal wall because there's gaps. So if you hit your rope dart with those gaps, then you sort of get stuck out of rope darting. And
Yeah, it's
it's a bad time. You just get wrecked.
Now, there is one I'm going to go for in a marathon. Ojos. We are going to see Ojos.
Almost the flag?
Yeah.
This is a beautiful strat. Well, let it speak for itself here.
You won't believe your eyes.
Ah, Here we go. Nice. This is the scary part, though. This is right here.
Yeah, because
I just wait a little bit.
There's 3 wizards trying to kill you. So
Yeah, fortunately they do start in a set spot, but it's still really jank. And
Oh, the
here's
time
another
waster room.
spot where we're gonna slash through a wall. Good old crystal abuse. That's Canadian stuff.
kind of annoying because you're right next to a laser, and then if you go too high, then you'll get hit onto the other laser or onto the other crystal, and you'll go backwards. So.
Woohoo!
Definitely not.
Hello.
Never.
Go for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yay.
Easy.
Chat. Oh my god, you're
Nice. Ooh.
Even without momentum, I can do it.
That's how lasers work. Those wouldn't be above you. Nope. That's everything's fine here.
That room has no ceiling, but the lasers stop at the top of the screen.
It's like in SMB when you can run above the screen.
Because that's all. That's the only explanation needed.
He's
This
our
boss
good
has
buddy.
a nice D-cheese mechanic where it knows it's trying to get comboed, and so he tries to push you away. But there's actually a really precise timing where you can rope dart yourself right back onto him to stop that from happening. But those are really, really hard. For this boss, for the most part, it's pretty much the abuse of the iframes you get from the rope dart. As long as you're doing the right timing, you just kind of delete that boss.
So, as our friend Minus would say, if we were running the 8-bit category, this is where we'd stop and say goodbye.
GG 8-bit. Yep,
But
yep,
we got
yep.
a little bit more to go.
We got the world to save.
Yep.
Now we get to go forward in time. Wait.
You forgot the most important part of going forward in time.
I know.
We get a really cool hat.
Look
Yeah.
how cool this hat is.
Like
Oh, nice.
really cool hat. Like,
Look
look
at
at
that.
this.
Ooh, so clean.
That's where I wish I was like Turtle Wax and had my hat to just put on right now. I need one.
Clean.
And of course, you get a music upgrade too.
And a visual upgrade.
Amazing track.
Yeah, Cloud Ruins is one of my favorite levels because you come here and you get to see it, and it's beautiful 16-bit glory. You know, this is the first 16-bit level you ever get to see. And then when you come back to this area, you didn't think the song would get better, but it does.
I didn't think I had a cloud step there.
Personally, I disagree with you on that one.
Whoa! We're gonna have to fight right now. Deputy sir.
But...
Give me the 8-bit track of this? What? This song's so good. What?
yeah, it's like a 16-bit version better.
They're both really good.
They are good for sure.
So a lot of this room, or level I should say, is pretty much just clean movement, and then small sections of, you could call them auto-scrollers, but you can actually speed them up and go past the auto-scrollers. So it's not really an auto-scroller, I mean, it's still an auto-scroller, but it's an auto-scroller where you can optionally go fast, you know? So that's like the auto-scroller we love as a speedrunner.
Yeah, most runners won't ever really go blind Manfred. The first one's not bad, but the second and third chases are just... Nope.
So here's our friend, question mark. He's currently being mind controlled right now.
He's a little upset.
Yeah, he's an Andy boy.
He's
not our
just
friend yet.
hungry. He just wants to eat you. But he doesn't realize that you're not like a pineapple or something.
Does anybody have a Snickers bar?
Yeah, the going off screen. So you see every cloud here. You can optionally go for kick boosts off of these and slowly be inching towards the end of the screen. We call that blind Fred when you're completing the rest of the level off screen. But those are hard.
There's a crusher cycle that you can beat with really optimal rope dart climbing, but
And
to beat it, you have to skip that
you have to
checkpoint.
skip,
So...
yep, you have to skip the checkpoint, and it's horrifying.
Because then you have to do the Manfred chase again.
yeah, it's a pretty punishing death.
There's actually 2 teleports in this room that probably most people don't know. Yep. You already missed it.
Ah.
That's okay. It's literally one frame, like pixel perfect thing that I spent like 45 minutes on trying. It's really hard. But there are teleports aplenty when there are ghosts on screen.
Yeah, that's a scary room. Going
It's-
underneath that last pillar. No,
What are you talking about? That's the fun part.
Sure, fun. He's our good buddy again.
So you see here what miinfin's trying to do every time he uses a rope dart. In a section where there's no more wall above where you're rope darting, you can do something called a kick boost, where when you rope dart off of a wall, Binge will have like an acceleration from the wall that he just jumped off on. But if you actually have zero input when you jump off of that wall, Ninja will go straight up. So you can counteract that deceleration from the jump, and then you can start holding the direction button. So it's pretty difficult to get those perfect kick boosts off of every rope dart, but those do add up, and they are pretty awesome.
Yeah, considering how many corners you kick off of in this game, that's a lot of potential time save.
Yeah.
One of those skill ceiling movement tech things that I was talking about earlier.
Late drippy ghost, we got it.
Can respawn.
Ah.
Anything to go with
Sticky Ninja.
Sticky Ninja, please! This one's so pretty.
It is.
Manfred, you ruined it. I was jamming.
Any
Here we have
sabers?
our
Any sabers in chat? Or am I
Saber,
alone?
kill the animals. What's it gonna be, chat?
You have
Boo.
5 seconds. 5, 4.
Oh, it's already over. I'm so sorry.
Boo.
He was doomed from the start.
It's pretty
but-
lonely on team save.
Canonically, the strongest red kappa. I mean, he is in heaven alive. And you do go faster when you if you rope dart on him.
Well, yeah, but nobody
Yep.
does any off screen, so
Ever
it doesn't
so
matter.
slightly, because there's clouds like right next to him anyway. So, like, is it really faster?
All right. Let's see if we'll see some jank here.
Really hard glitch that you can do in the beginning of this fight. At any point, he does a particular portion of that attack, but it's really hard to trigger.
Yeah. So we can see the fight as it was actually intended.
Yeah,
There's a
it's
really
comboable glory.
stupid trick called Ballfred where he just gets stuck in a spinny animation at the start, and it's way, 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 way faster, even on a perfect fight without Ballfred. But it's really jank, and it's a really unfortunate strat.
There's actually, interestingly enough, the way that they sort of tried to de-cheese this boss is there's a cadence that if you sort of swing too fast, Manfred will sort of ignore your hit and he'll just continue on normally. So you have to make sure that you're sort of comboing him at a particular rhythm, otherwise he'll just fly right off and not care. So this fight can be a little fight, especially at higher health because he's going even faster. Lower health, I should say.
Alright. Playing it safe.
Yep.
Nice kill before the fire section.
It's stressful there.
Good stuff.
Woo! Wee!
That's a fight where you practice 95% the slower strat and 5% the fastest, and it's really unfortunate.
I always joke
I wish
that
Ballfred
Manfred is like the the final boss of this game because like that boss is so stressful.
Yeah.
Because the
Yeah, so
other
you-
bosses,
Agreed.
where like if you're doing the strats for the bosses, you can relatively easily either one cycle them or sort of combo them in a way. But Manfred is not the case.
Nope. Yeah, we broke his Angie, so now he turns to a light blue.
And, oh, he loves us. He's so cute.
And again, cat jam time.
Yeah, this song's awesome.
Yeah, we got a really, really cool level here.
Combined with a really cool level as well, and a really cool boss as well. This level is scary AF. There are so many things going on with this level. There's so many damage boosts you can take, and there's just everything can kill you, and it's awful.
My old friend Underworld. Good times.
Are we opting for the spike damage boost?
Nope.
Fair enough.
Completely understandable. Yeah, there's really not much to say about this level. It's a cool level.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's a pretty hot level to me.
Level design.
Ah.
And it's just kind of, again, the culmination of skills that you've reached up to this point. There's nothing really new since Cloud Ruins or anything, but it's just sort of throwing them more at like a rapid pace now. They're like, okay,
Yeah,
here's more of them.
Getting the checkpoint, I like it.
Well, if I'm at 5 or more health, I skip it because I can survive a spike hit.
Yeah, true. Yeah, fun thing about this room is that the lava at the bottom actually rises. We like to call it the toxic tower.
Wait, what lava?
Yeah,
Yes,
was it
us
lava?
speedsters don't know that the lava
Remember that
rises.
panther that you saw, like right when we entered the room? Yeah, that's it.
A couple of spikes to weave around, but nothing too serious.
Yeah, all these drops are kind of difficult just because, particularly that one right there is actually, to get those stalactites, that's like almost like a 2 or 3 pixel window. That's
Yeah,
really
it's
hard.
really tricky.
So
Now
Barmaid
it's
is up
time.
here. We hopefully will combo this man to death. He is set to do something in the very beginning, and like every boss, they have damage gates. But we got him in a perfect corner, and then
Nice.
looking like we're gonna one cycle it pretty cleanly. Just gotta make sure we get the stun lock before he reacts. Nice.
Nice.
So you see there, that was a great
Good
fight.
stuff. Really clean.
Yeah, whenever, right at the beginning of his animation, if you throw a shuriken, he'll block it, but that he's sort of like staggered before he does anything else. So you can just sort of stun lock him like that, and really nice one cycle.
We like to call
Yeah.
that strap the Parmesan cheese.
I've never heard that, but I love it.
Neither have I.
GG Linear, that was a beautiful Parmesan
Yep.
cheese.
And now we got the other 2/3 of the game to go.
Yep. Yeah, this is where we'd say see ya, have a good night, but we're
Maybe
still
we get to
going.
chill and listen to this beautiful song, and we get to appreciate one of the best cutscenes, which you won't actually have access to the text because we're going fast.
Yeah.
But some
This
of this cutscene is pretty great.
Yeah, this
I don't-
cutscene is
I hate to
hilarious.
Spoil it for the people in this that are watching right now that haven't beaten the game or played it rather. So,
Yeah.
let's just say, does this cutscene looking familiar to you guys? It's a little deja vu.
Yeah, so basically what we did was loop into the future, and now we're the ones saving the new messenger.
Yeah,
But,
the first line of text here is, and now you come to appreciate that this whole game was a loop.
Yeah. And there's going to be some unfortunate circumstances that will happen here.
And just like every end of the messenger's journey, you now become the shopkeeper. So we'll just sit here and let things play out. I won't say anything because I care for the people out there that hate
Unfortunate
spoilers.
circumstances.
But I really love telling the story because main character messed up
Yeah.
pretty bad.
We'll just put it this way: we are the worst shopkeeper ever.
What? No.
Yep.
Okay, we can talk about this later. We can talk about this later.
Yeah, I don't explain why. We're just bad.
No, we're not. It's Shoppee's fault.
Look how happy he is. He's jumping around. Oh man.
Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no.
Goodbye, soldier. I think he just went back to hell.
But yeah, the dialogue in this game, this is a perfect example. It's just so good. It's hilarious all throughout. For a casual playthrough, even glimpses of it when you're speedrunning.
Hey, Chad, I see you. That wasn't a spoiler. I said nothing. I don't even know what's happening right now.
Yeah, look at me.
Oh, what's happening? Okay, he changed clothes. Okay, we're fine. We're playing the right game again.
Yep, now we get to meet our new guide for the journey. It was Shoppy, but now it's the Prophet.
Yeah, Shoppy's really upset with us. We just did a bad thing. We basically committed taboo, and now we have to go pick up our old job again because we were really bad at our new job.
Yeah. So you know that scroll we picked up? Apparently there's something about it.
Yeah, it's actually really important. I've never looked at it though.
Yeah, I know, right?
Phoenix gave it to me, but I never looked at it.
Yeah, apparently it does that little blinking thing right there.
Shoppy just yelling at you, being like, "Yeah, just be sure to look at your map." And the main character's like, "What that?" Shoppy's like that very much.
So we're doing a little chat thing right there while we're here, because we'll need that later.
Yeah, for now we get to see all the levels that we previously went through. Well, not all the levels. Most of the levels we previously went through, but in 16-bit, with 16-bit music. Just such a cool part of the game. But what we need to do now is grab all of the 6 things that we saw grabbed back in Crags, but we can actually see them now. We're going through and grabbing 5 other music notes.
That's not when I need to get hit.
Where we line ourselves up with I do with the tree here, but sometimes your rope dart can just eat the bullet anyway.
Yeah.
This setup it can be kind of tricky.
Yes.
Nice, we got it. And now we just have to make sure we don't use rope dart for the next, I don't know, year.
Yeah, so we're bringing a friend along.
Yeah, the name for my split for this section is Make a Friend.
Ooh, that help is actually nice. Yeah.
Fun thing is he doesn't actually die.
And even if he does die, he is still leashed to you. You just have to go back to the screen he's on, and your rope dart will, reconnect, quote-unquote, to the enemy.
I really don't feel like going back that far, though.
Yeah. Still rope dart, forehead. Yeah, we're getting there. And this is still always a good spot to get shards. And we do still need those. Hey, thanks for the boost.
Right? He was just in the way.
We'll see how. He does not he doesn't
No.
want to save much time here. That's okay.
No.
What a meeting.
Fun part is now I can rope dart.
Yeah. Yeah, there we
You're
go. So
not
now
supposed to be able to get over here, except by doing a whole cutscene, getting a character, coming back here way later. But yeah, thanks, Woodrow.
Yeah.
And he's still trying to shoot at us, like, hey, look at me, I'm important.
Yeah, I like him in this cutscene. It always looks really silly.
Yeah, because he can't kill us.
Woodrow's like, but you just made a friend. Wait, where are you going? Can I come? Wait.
Unfortunately, he won't follow us to the new area we're going to. Which, really great music.
You were used. I'm sorry, bud.
Yeah, we got the Elemental Skylands. We got a few auto scrollers basically, but the main reason we come here first now is to get all the shards we need for the most recent route change. Because each of those enemies that we just killed will give 6 shards, and the others, I believe, are 1. But there's going to be a lot of them scattered all throughout here.
Yeah, they add up in this section. And
Yep.
yeah, like Fruity said, being able to get that particular upgrade that we get with all these shards at the end allows us to basically do one of the levels backwards, and it's pretty sweet. So I won't say much more until we get there. But this level is pretty cool.
Jam time.
Every section sort of has its own theme here. This being the Air Skyland, I believe air, earth, fire, and water, if I'm not mistaken. I'm probably mistaken, but that's okay.
It is water, but the water and fire in reverse order.
Ah, thank you. Yeah, fire's the last.
Water's my favorite. I get to eat.
Yeah, the eats are great. You eat twice. Oh my god.
I like fire because we get to hear the 8-bit track. I like the 8-bit track more for this one.
Not for very long, but only you get to savor those 8-bit sections.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these sections can get a little boring. There's gonna be a lot of mashing to do.
There's actually similar to if you ever played like a Star Fox game. The way that the matching works on Manfred is when you press the button and when you release the button, it puts a shot on screen. So you can, for the optimally matching for this is actually not that bad because you can just press and release at the right speed. It's as opposed to playing Mario Party and just destroying yourself. You can still do that, but you just don't have to.
And that's the last one for this one. Now we go to Earth.
We get a few seconds of 8-bit. It's gonna be really nice.
And coming up, we're getting another sequence break. This one's a little silly. This is a whole sequence of like puzzles and stuff that you have to do, changing the time a couple of times here and there. But we just climb up the wall of spikes because why not?
Who needs puzzles?
That's a really nice one. 'Cause
Puzzles
back
are
and
slow.
forth can get a little annoying.
Yeah, you're in that room for quite a while. You want to talk about secret breaks, though? The out of bounds section for this particular level is crazy.
Yeah, out of bounds in general is pretty nutty.
Yeah, if anyone's new to the speedruns of the Messenger watching these, I definitely recommend checking out some of the out of bounds runs. They're pretty great.
Yeah, personally,
I glitches and stuff, but there's still plenty of glitches to see in out of bounds.
yeah, true. Don't think I'd play any out of bounds, but they're still super fun to watch.
I started with out of bounds, so that like one tiling was like the first skill that I picked up, but I became a bamboo boy.
That's a good one to have, though.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it was a painful one to pick up. But I think it was a good skill to learn.
So, when Rudy was talking about like the shard counts coming out of this, well, by the time we collect the next note, we're gonna need 1,320 shards. I will have that before we finish this entire level.
Yeah, we are on perfect pace for the shard count here.
Yeah, the skylines are a great place to farm for shards when you need more in New Game Plus.
Yeet!
Nice.
Very nice.
Another one that's a little bit harder.
Boo.
I shouldn't have said anything, commentators. I'm sorry, Chad. It's my fault. Don't yell at me.
Yeah, we like to ignore saws wherever we can, so.
And here's another sequence break as well, where you're supposed to be going in and out of these time portals, but
Man, who needs time?
Oh, I forgot to mention the upgrades and crags that we got. Pretty simple. It's just an extra HP point, and the little green orbs that you get sometimes when you kill the enemies. That's just an HP drop.
way more useful than you think.
Oh yeah.
Especially when you're bad at the run like me.
Yeah, there's so many times where I'm sitting at, spikes will kill me, and then a health drops, and it's like, oh my god, that is a lifesaver. Just takes out
Literally.
so much stress.
It's always kind of fun trying to optimize your charge shots in the section. Because obviously, right, it's a auto scroller. There's not a whole lot going on, but that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to shoot as little shots as possible, but trying to get as most shots as possible.
Yeah, and then of
Giving my
course,
brain something to focus on.
yeah, and of course hitting the fireball in the big long row. These guys are
always feels good. Yeah, just kill all those.
always
and
so
go.
satisfying.
Yeah. It also helps that they spawn in exactly the same pattern every time. There's zero RNG involved.
Yeah, as long as you know when they're coming, you're fine.
Nice. Good boosts.
Yeah, this is probably the scariest of the Skylands, just because of all the, instant death. We got pits too, because why not?
Oh, scared me a little bit. Ooh, wow.
This room is honestly the scariest for me.
Oh yeah, this one's...
Yeah, those fireballs control you very easily.
I always take that area just a little slow since we don't run this with the tabbies anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Because normally you could just walk on the lava during the old route. You're fine.
Yeah, you just don't care and just swing the sword.
Yep.
Mm. I hear y'all like mashing.
Of the area, the giant butler. He's very scary. He's actually pretty simple boss, but it's mashing the boss. We can actually skip his first cycle if we mash fast enough here at the beginning. Nicely done. That's going to make the boss a lot easier because there's so much garbage that he spawns right at the beginning of his first phase. And he does that every time the boss resets.
Yeah, this is where the mash speed really comes in handy. In the auto-scroller sections, it's not too big of a deal, but here's where it really matters.
Hello.
The hard hit box is a lot smaller than it looks like.
Yeah, it's really janky sometimes.
And that ceiling is so tight up there, too.
It is, yeah.
Tiny little cubby. No map strats said, hey, okay, map strats are cool, but they waste time. Come on, man. Chat, come on. Are you trying to waste time in my speedrunner?
Wait.
How dare you?
Map strats. Oh, yeah. The buffering with it.
Like,
yeah,
when you
I
go
know.
to the map and then mash.
Oh, I know. I'm just trolling because I don't use any of them.
Chat, I'm disappointed in you.
Yep. So here's our second note, the key of symbiosis. Turns out the concierge here was also mind controlled like Manfred.
And
There's some
somehow
funny
he's a
dialogue
butler.
between the two
We
of
don't
them.
ask. The top hat, the mustache, he's a butler.
Yeah.
Manfred also wants to be a butler. That's like the thing he's always wanted to do, like for his whole life. And so now he's like, well, big Mr. Concierge guy, oh, you're so cool. Can I be like you? And he's like, yes, okay. You can be my apprentice.
Yeah.
You just gotta clean up your language a little bit there, mister.
Yeah, Manfred isn't quite fancy enough.
Yeah, he's basically like a 6-year-old kid dragon. That's how I like to think about him. Hey, Mr. Messenger, how's it going?
Okay.
Gotta love ice physics. Yeah, we get to journey back through the Reston Glacial and down the crags because we're going to open one of those portals that we saw in the Tower of Time.
Hey, I wonder how the boys are doing.
Oh yeah, the arm and legs duo. I wonder how
Oh, whoops.
Oh dear.
Oh,
I guess
They
they stewed on their workout routine. Please fire me.
yeah, can we get another commentator here real quick? Yeah, here's our portal. Yeah, we're going to have to come back here because that's the entrance to the right is the entrance to the 8-bit section of Underworld that we need to go back for a note later. But we can't walk on lava quite yet, so we'll be back. Cool little yeet there, I like that one.
Yeah, it's easier than the one tile.
To do that, those last two rooms, which is kind of funny. In my runs, I always do these rooms opposite. Ooh,
Really fun yeet.
that is a really difficult one to go for, but you'll end up, if you can conserve it, you can get it all the way to this tree. It's a really, really cool yeet.
Yeah.
But don't worry, there's plenty more.
Yeah, we call that one Blue Steel.
And this is one of the things that I really appreciate is like a newcomer to this game, just playing it casually, coming back to this area. I've beaten this level before, and you come back and it's like it's the same level, but it's slightly different design. Things are laid out in a different way, or there's new enemies. So it's really, really cool game design. Here we are going to go for the nice backup. Normally, most people sit there trying to one tile off of that tree. That's really, really difficult. So we use our good friend, the yellow grub, the jump grub, to get up there.
Yeah. Key of Hope here. There's a pretty cool section that you would go through casually to get to this, but that's a little bit slower, so we just like to jump up the tree.
Yeah, similar to, not as big of a time save as the one in Seeing Crack, but very similar to that one.
Yeah.
And here we're about to use all of our money, big bucks that we stole from the Big Butler, and we're going to use it to buy our 7th health and the damage reduction, which is the reason that we run this category in the first place, like Fruit mentioned. And we're coming up to one of my particular favorite parts of the run as a viewer, and the worst part, like my most hated part as the runner.
Yeah.
Sunken Shrine is a scary level with lots of things going on, but it's really, really interesting. So and that's coming up in just a second.
Yeah, casually it was, one of my favorite levels, but for the few 80% runs I've done, it's a tough level for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, first we get a quick detour through 16-bit grotto. We're heading back.
And this song, 16-bit, so good.
Very much so.
Rainbow Dragon Eyes. Why? Why must you make us wait this long for another game?
Yeah, a lot of the stages after you finish linear, this little reverse DK skip, they really start to ramp up the difficulty. Like Sunken Shrine is pretty tough, Forlorn is really tough, and of course the last stage of the game, the music box. Ooh, a lot of tough stuff throughout.
Yeah, the music box is a big oof.
Yeah.
I just kind of let that level speak for itself after I introduce it, because there's just so much going on. Ooh, nice mini teleport.
Nice.
And you got the
time yeet too.
Time yeet too. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So down we
So
go.
now, Lost Woods, except for we're swimming.
Yep.
Yeah. There normally is an item that you get that'll tell you what the correct path is to take, but it's a set path, fortunately, so we just need to remember what it is, and we're good.
Yeah, and apparently we're really, really good at holding our breath.
Yeah.
Yeah, that never was explained, but whatever. We just can. We're fish. Whatever. That's fine.
The scroll
Figure it
also
logic.
doubles as an oxygen tank.
Yeah. It's just like an infinite tube that goes up to the top of the
Wait, miinfin, do you know the wet afros or no?
I don't. I am not great at those.
I go for them every time. I love trying to skip this cutscene and spending about a minute in that water and still skipping the cutscene.
Yeah. Alright, so
Alright.
Min's gonna grab a checkpoint here, and he's gonna go for a really, really difficult trick.
So this is backdoor tabby. So what he's trying to do here is get a one tile off of this piece of wall up here. But in order to get a one tile, he had to get one tile property. So he had to cling to a wall first. So this is pretty much 3 pixel perfect jumps in a row, as well as the perfect jump off of the wall. So I'm just gonna give miinfin a little secret for this one.
I'm only going to get a couple more tries. Alright. So we're going to go do it the intended route.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got to see
there's
some pretty
there's
cool
still a skip though. Yeah, don't worry. There's still plenty of cool stuff coming on. Yeah, that execution of one tiles is not easy. I respect you going for it, for sure.
Yeah, that's a crazy tough trick. Saves a good chunk of time. But we get to see the rest of Sunken Shrine.
Yeah, we get to see PP skip instead, which was really cool.
I didn't have the health to do what I wanted to. Boo. Because there's a skip where you can actually damage boost through here, and it's a little faster than the normal route.
Coming up to PP skip, where normally you'd have to go through that bottom section, really nicely done, with a perfect cloud step off of that axe to get up there. You go through that room to the right and have to change the time, similar to a lot of these other rooms, but we skip all that.
Yeah, shout out to Piranha Pig for making that a thing in any percent.
Yeah, that's really the biggest tragedy of the backdoor tabby. So yeah, this is where we would have got to if the trick wasn't so stupid.
Not only do you have to do that one tile, but then you have to have perfect movement through the spikes and have the right timing of jumps to not take full damage through those spikes and just die in that section.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, because the upgrade that we got at the end of Autumn, it changes spikes from 3 damage to 2 damage, and then of course the extra health that allows for 3 spike damage boosts instead of 2. Or
And
one.
now we have metal feet, which you wouldn't think would be like really important, but it's surprisingly like very important. Somehow you can survive hell with metal feet, so it's okay. We'll take them. And this is a bit of a scary room right here, but nice damage boost through there. That that can be really annoying.
Yeah, that's another thing that the route change allows for is it allows for a bit more leniency on hitting spikes. Not a ton, but a little bit.
I always love trying to optimize the movement in that section, trying to kill the blocks and get up there as quickly as possible. These next couple of rooms are pretty cool.
I'm missing the lantern.
These next couple of rooms are terrible. That's
Yeah.
why I'm saying.
Cool but scary. Oh my god.
And we have a
we just
cool
ignore these
instant
spikes.
of just being able to rope dart climb up something that's supposed to be really scary, but invincibility is pretty cool. So, we'll take it.
Yeah, you grabbed a crest for the door that we walked by in the entrance. You actually don't automatically grab those, so if you
would
don't
think
press
you would just
up,
walk
you'll
through
walk
it.
by them.
Right.
It said he did that where he walked by one of the crests, and look how far he's come.
Woohoo!
Nicely done.
Casa
That's
yeets.
not easy. You have to make sure you don't bonk on the ceiling and as well, like on the ceiling above you and the kappa below you. That's a nice. Round of applause.
Shout out to Mr. Brazilian Kasayev for that particular yeet.
That's such a cool one.
Down, please.
Sneaking ninja why? The song is so peaceful comparatively to the horrifying level in front of you.
Right? It's the same with Tower of Time. It's such a nice, chill song, but
Yeah,
then
true.
there's just lasers all
At
around.
least with Tower of Time, you got that nice. It's like a
Sure.
driving force, right? You feel it, but this song is just like.
I always imagine the
Oh yeah, there's like 70 spikes around me. That's cool. I guess.
Oh. Oh, very nice.
I relaxed though.
yeah. In Tower of Time, I imagine that beat is like your heartbeat while you're going through it.
Yeah,
Mine usually goes a little bit quicker.
this is your final test.
Yeah, Sucker Shrine does a really good job of switching back and forth between 8-bit and 16-bit for all these puzzles.
Who likes long door opening sequences?
Slowest door in the history of gaming.
Right?
But it does show us that Ninja has a butt.
70 beatbox streamline. Tower of Time remix.
He does have a backside.
No self promotion. This is a marathon. Stop it.
So we get our, oh god, fourth note, right? Yeah, fourth note. The key
Yeah.
of love.
Look at that. Look at that ninja back though. Pretty cute though.
Get a nice hat too.
Ah, oh my god.
Sorry, I just can't get over the hat.
And we finally can get out of the water temple, which is always awful in everything ever.
Yep.
Round of applause to yourself. Let's get out, please.
Oh, you gotta wait for the door.
Yeah, we gotta make sure it closes.
There we go. Yeah, we don't
You can't be rude.
Yeah. So, not back to Tower Time. We gotta go back to
Oh,
Bamboo.
you went for the. Oh, those are
Nice.
hard. Nice. So what he just did there was basically while you're in wingsuit, there's one frame when you touch water where you don't basically your feet don't touch the ground, so you have one frame to do that. And so yeah, those are hard. Nice.
I could
Perfect.
I could do those easier than I can do the wet afros.
Nice teleport.
Nice
That's
teleport.
a pretty easy setup as long as you climb that and get out of the water properly. You can get those, but it looks cool every time.
Yeah, for sure.
Every now and then that teleport glitches and you stay in 16-bit.
Yes, and then you have to go back and touch it. You get really confused. I've kept going and I realized that this room, and I'm like, wait, Why does everything look different?
I just noticed straight off the music, it doesn't sound right.
Yeah, bit of reverse grotto, and then back through bamboo. We gotta rescue Necro's buddy that we rescued earlier in Catacombs.
Reverse hay skip.
Oh, nice! You got the hay skip. Let's go. Clean movement.
Easy.
I always appreciated this about the re-entry to bamboo. That just
Yeah.
like you when you left the place, the music slowly faded out, and when you come back from this area, it slowly fades back in. Another one of those really cool sound design portions. Thank you, Rainbow Dragon. You're a genius. Thank you, Glide. We finally get to go save our good friend Bamboo Boy, whose name is Faustro. Ooh, nice first try block clip. Not out of bounds, by the way. Out of bounds category is defined by any clipping out of basically a static boundary. So anything that either can't be broken or doesn't move.
Yeah, so it's okay to go. Yeah, it's okay to go through anything that can be destroyed or moved, such as crushers.
That's why earlier we didn't invalidate the run in Power Time.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, and yet another section that we skip over by going through the exit.
Just go backwards.
Yes, blocks do move when you kill them, when you eradicate them from their existence.
Of course. And then we unfortunately, well, no, I guess not unfortunately, we get to jam out a little bit. We gotta go all the way back through bamboo to meet our good but dead buddy Ruxton in the future.
I mean, he was already dead, but
back
now
to
he's
Cloud
really dead.
Yeah, sure. How does?
Yeah, his story.
No.
His parents are octopi, and he just was adopted. I don't know.
Hey,
we don't
spoilers.
talk about Ruxton. We just love him for who he is.
We do.
Boo. I had the setup and then just missed the platform.
And he just sucks when we need to see it once.
I love that skip personally. Not doing it though.
Yeah. Hard to agree on that one.
Always cool seeing the movement from previous bamboo and then coming back with the rope dart. How it just breaks level.
Yeah, it's so cool seeing that in all the levels, just going back through it. Once the game opens up, in the speedrun and casually, it's just so much fun to just be in. This game's just.
Yeah, it's an optimizer's heaven, for sure. Ooh, coming up, Wet Afro question mark? Everyone's favorite Wet Afro?
Oh, I
The
bonked.
hard setup, the Ori Mag respect. Wow, I would never go for that. What an alpha.
But I bonked my head on the entryway, otherwise I would have had it.
Valiant effort. It's okay.
Here's the big one.
God,
I did that too early.
scary. Every time you go for those, man. The fact that you can get those is pretty crazy. I have to go for the in-water setup.
I cannot get that setup to save my life. I have to do the harder way.
Yeah,
It's easier somehow.
It's always more fun to do the hard way anyway.
There's a joke in there somewhere, but this is a family stream.
Aware of my ways, I am good now. Please take my amulet. The spooky staff will help you out later.
Yeah, the staff we actually saw at the top of Glacial Peak, he was a little frozen.
So remember how we skipped the cutscene earlier?
Oh yeah.
His first conversation with him is like, hey, do you remember me? Hey, yeah, actually, I don't really want to talk about that. Can you move me real quick? I'm stuck.
A little chilly.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
I was about half a second away from trying the Superman.
That's a crazy strat.
I got that strat the other day, and then I messed it up because I hit the
Holy
spikes.
health.
That strat's so hard.
Did you just get free health drops?
I sure did.
Oh,
So the way we actually went back into this section is to go. Oh, reminder: we have cutscene to avoid. So nicely done.
yeah, okay.
So we are coming back through this section to go to the Dark Cave in order to basically get the remaining pieces to complete the level. And the Dark Cave is quite difficult. It's pretty much, as long as you know the particular setups for each room and you start it in your correct way, the Dark Cave is fine, but it's a section where you can't see anything. So we'll just let miinfin concentrate here for a bit.
Yep.
Rest assured, there's spikes and pits everywhere.
Just because see them doesn't mean they're not there. Alright, now we're at kind of a safe point. This is the part I always have an issue with. Everything after this, I'm fine.
Yeah, just make it to the wall here. You got it.
Nice.
Nicely done. So here, we're going to hit a switch that's sort of off-screen here.
I would say I did that
the
too
rest
early.
of the level, and then we just have to follow it back. Or beat it back, since we're speedrunners. Duh.
Of course.
Who follows things?
Ooh. Nice.
Huh. Standing on the platform.
Nice Dark Cave.
Yeah, this is such
Yeah,
a
even
cool
if you
level.
had the light, that section's still really hot.
Yeah, normally you go back to Ninja Village and do something for the Elder, and he gives you power of true sight,
Which is a candle.
Yeah,
It's literally just a candle. It's not even like a blue flame. It's just a candle.
It's just an ordinary wax candle.
Oh, and
Nice,
we got a
horse
cutscene skip there. Nicely done. There's that you can actually slide into the animation of the the opening of the door, but it's slow, so we don't do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Riviera is going to be a lot of these flowers that we're going to be bouncing off of. There's going to be a couple of cool yeets, a couple of cool strats to skip some cannons and all
Yeah,
that.
they introduced this cool mechanic with the flower cannons and everything, but there's a lot of sections where we can just kind of skip them. So
Like that.
Damage boost there becomes a lot less scary with the extra HP
yeah, with all the
upgrades.
extra HP and the damage reduction, yeah. There's actually a lot of damage boosts you can go for in this particular stage.
Mhm.
They are quite scary. But I won't talk about that. I'll let that just happen.
Yeah, and of course the river itself is all insta-death, so a couple of sketchy sections in general. There's a couple of cool teleports too, but they're a little
Yeah,
awkward. to
the
set up.
teleports in this room are so hard to set up.
Yeah.
It's like they're pretty much like two perfect shurikens and like the perfect rope dart. It's just awful.
Yeah. Kind of
Cycles!
awful.
Yeah, you think, like, as a casual, you're just like, yeah, I slowly, like, just jump on a log and I go left. But it's a speedrunner, we're like, must go fast, must not land on log.
Yeah. And then when you try to rope dart the wall but hit a log instead,
Oh,
just
yeah,
a nightmare.
We don't talk about things like that.
This is our friend Big Bird. We unfortunately opted to kill him, but that's okay. He's going to reload right now.
Yeah.
This is Big Bird Heat, one of my favorite parts of this particular category.
Here we go.
I hear y'all like yeets.
Whee!
Let's see if we get this one.
No!
Oh, no.
What? What?
Let's
The?
try.
Oh
That
my.
all the way into this room. That
Okay.
step all the way into this room. So
Hi,
this is
Corval.
The death mechanic. We don't like to talk to him, but it's okay. He was going to come out sooner or later.
Yeah,
He was actually going to come after the boss.
yeah, there's an intentional death to make it back to a checkpoint, so we'd see him soon
That's
anyway.
okay. We get to see this really cool thing again.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. It's so sick.
Let's see.
Nice
Ooh,
and
man.
nasty. Really.
That's what I was going for the
There's
first
one
time.
room to be done.
No!
Yeah, this room.
I had a janky cloud step.
Yeah, that part's really hard trying to get that that last part of that phase when he gets the very top there. And there are enemies you can go for in here, but they're so scary.
Yeah.
And then you can lead the bats sort of and just sort of jump with the bats, but
And
nice opting for the one damage boost.
Yep, a couple of flower puzzles to go through. I guess not much. Much
And
of
here's
a
another
puzzle.
one where you would think that you would have to do it, but this is another skippable one. It's probably the biggest one, I think.
Yeah, you get to just skip all of these sections of it.
Yeah, no, I think it must be the next one.
This is the only one we have to do.
Yeah, we have to do this one. But this one's pretty easy because you just hit all the ones on the bottom. Oh no, Koopa Hansan, I'm disappointed. I'm sure Koopa's disappointed as well. That's okay.
I don't even know where the Hansons are in this.
Oh, it's right here, right when you get bounced off.
Oh.
Down, right there? Yeah, it's right there. But that's okay. it's most of the time you hit the flower, so...
Yeah, but sometimes you don't.
Yeah, and then it goes awesome.
Alright, this is a really fun skip here. The save having to go for all of the cannons. It's called the bird strat. Nice.
I heard a Duke TMR skip because he was the one that found it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
heard that actually.
That would be correct.
That's what 2C called it in his run. So I was just like, oh well,
Oh,
he's
okay,
clearly
that's-
like the god of this game, right? So just whatever he said, yeah, okay.
Yeah. It was a TMR strat.
Oh, that's cool.
And nice, you actually touched the checkpoint there. Very important for the end of this boss fight.
Yeah, because the last checkpoint you go to doesn't have a portal to go into, and that's kind of important.
Yes. Yeah, this is a very cool boss fight. Casually, there would be a bit of time that you have to wait, and the batterfly here will throw things at you, and then reveal some platforms. But you can just jump on the platforms if you know where they are.
And here you can sort of bounce on top of the butterfly as she's flying away, and when she goes off screen, you can continue to follow her and just pump damage in. And it's pretty hard to get that set, but
Yeah.
if you manage to get that twice in 2 cycles of the boss, it is pretty sure we got
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Nice
Good
job.
stuff. Good stuff.
Good job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, following her up there with that damage can be a little tricky.
Yeah, because when it flies is based on how many times you've hit it, so you have to make sure your timing is like perfect. And here we have the option to take the cannon, but we hate cannons, so we just die.
Streamer
This
died
would be
SMH.
the first intentional death that we would see, but that's okay. miinfin still managed to only get his first death in Revere, so that's still pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
Now we go back
Yeah.
to get Pyro Pal.
Yep. We get our third Phobican,
Lover boy.
and we're going to be getting our fifth note. Now, unfortunately, for the 5 notes, you can go right to them, but for the 6th note, you have to go get what we just got from Riviere, go get the last Phobican so we can go to Forlorn, to get an item to go to the area where we can go that we also need the Firefly in.
What?
Oh,
What was that?
I don't know. It looked like you clipped through the corner.
Lava is weird.
Did I just see that?
What the heck was
I don't
that?
know.
Marathon
this game
things
is not glitchy
TM.
at all. There's
As
no
great
problem.
as this game is, yeah,
There's nothing
it's
wrong
got
with
some,
Unity. Kappa.
it's got some things.
No,
Alright, we'll wait for this cycle to go again real quick.
Like all games, there are going to be glitches. That's okay, we appreciate it.
Yeah, that's what we call marathon luck, so...
Yeah, of course.
At least it was a small one. It was a very small death, but some time lost.
Yep.
And now we're back to the underworld, except in its 8-bit glory. A little bit easier, actually, I would say, just because you're not really scared of the lava because you can just walk on it. Although there are the two different types of lava: the Fanta lava that you can't swim or climb, or walk on, rather. You can't climb it. I hope you can't climb lava. That'd be weird. Yeah, the rest of the stage is pretty straightforward. We're just kind of going in this path on the bottom right that we couldn't previously traverse. And there is a cool skip in, I think, ahead of now, which is really hard. Like, every runner knows it because it plagues everyone. Because it's a time save big enough that you are upset at yourself for not doing it because it's hard.
Yeah. But, like, even if you do everything perfectly, it's just complete jank.
It might still, yeah, you might just still mess it up. So you get damage boost on this first spike up there, and skip this whole room. I think it's
Yeah,
like
that requires a damage
12
boost
second
and a
time
one
save or
tile.
something like that. It's very significant.
It's a moving one tile, too, right? Like,
Yeah,
one
because
tile
you
on
have to
top.
react to which side the damage boosts you, and then cancel it, and then do the one tile on that side.
Yeah, it's
It's hard.
completely jammed. And the thing is, too, if you go for it and mess it up, you kind of screw up the cycle, so you'll probably get
Yeah,
hit
you
by the
can't do it
last
again.
straw as well.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, this room is kind of stressful.
Yeah, this room, lots of things can go wrong. Because these dudes jump at the worst times combined with these, like, the arcs of these spike balls.
Yeah.
There is a teleport in this room. It's very hard to line up, though.
It is.
You have to, like, stop moving for a section with a spike ball right in front of you, and it doesn't feel very good.
On top of a platform that falls. So no, not gonna go for it.
Yeah, no, please don't.
Yeah, here's the fifth note, the key of chaos, and as I was saying before, we've got quite a few things to go before we can get to the last note.
So remember how we got Ruxton's amulet? Now we get to see where it takes us.
Yeah. This is probably my second favorite song in the game, I think. The 8-bit Cloud Ruins. The level is pretty great as well, might I add, but the song is just whew.
Yeah.
This is another level that's really tough.
Yeah, actually, I think the 8-bit one is a little bit easier, personally.
Yeah. Oh, I guess casually I should say more.
You show up and it's like, all happy-go-lucky, and then it
Yeah.
switches to this.
The speedrun strats aren't too bad, but casually this level is tough. Ooh.
I feel like I'm in, like, Wily 2 of, like, Mega Man 8 or something.
Spice Amelia a speed bump at this point.
They're speed tech. That's all they are.
Number one has to be... well, I'll get to it. It's okay. You'll know by the end of the run. I can't spoil it. You should already know. I'm pretty sure you already know.
Quick bit of safety shards. Because of course when we see Corbel, he does save our lives, but it comes at a price.
Yeah, I mean, he is a demon after all. The whole they're in this for their personal gain. Like, he can save us and all, but that's not why he's here. He just wants to make money.
I mean, he could do other stuff for money, though. I think Corbel deep down is a nice guy.
I mean, he sided with the humans. It's better than being part of Marmot Basil's army. He's ultimately part of the greater good, even though he's like, kind of a jerk and steals your money.
Well, I was gonna try for a climb here, but
yeah, it's a really cool
Good,
climb.
mate. Stay tuned.
It's a little jank.
There's a lot of actually teleports in this next couple of sections that most runners don't go for. They're kind of really crazy setups, particularly in pretty much the second to last room in this area, where it's pretty much just this one giant open room with a bunch of enemies. And if you go for the teleport and you mess it up, you're you got no cloud steps, and there's one giant room in front of you. So good luck.
Yeah, another thing with the teleport.
I'm playing this a little safe right here.
Oh yeah, these are some scary damage boosts.
Funnily enough, these actually will not hit you if you don't move. They will move you, but if you're not moving, they just push you. But
if I'm not moving, I'm not going fast.
They push you.
Oh wow, you actually climbed fast enough. You probably could have got that.
I probably could have, but I'm at 1 health and I skipped the checkpoint.
I respect that you still had the speed, but you were smart enough to not go for it. I would have, again, went for it and died.
You know what's scary? Car wash with 1 health.
Ah, you're fine.
Yeah. That. There's another double teleport in this room that starts with that first ghost, but that one, there's another one.
Oh, I got the glitch, but I didn't get the teleport.
He got the setup for it. You saw the green orb fly to him. He was pretty much like 1 pixel too far to the right or something. Something so minuscule that you feel cheated. But that was still really good.
Yeah, that room's cool because
So
there's the same placements for the ghosts, but just a lot less platforms.
Hopefully we can get this one. Nice. That one is hard. You have to make sure you don't sticky ninja on the way down and pretty much have perfect movement to the rope there.
Couple of bird friends here.
These guys are kind of annoying.
Caw and whatnot. friendly platforms here. Oh, nice.
Yeah, we get a bit of a break. We should just stand on a platform. There's a teleport in this room where if you stop moving in the middle here, you get a teleport. Nicely
nice.
done. That is really difficult to set up because you have to wait for the right amount of time. If you wait for too long, then the target that you want to teleport to will appear on screen, and the distant port will no longer work. So, really nice enough.
Yep, we got a couple of familiar rooms here.
Yay!
Nice.
Hey, get down here.
Oh yeah, and Chad
Well-
talking about the invisible lantern that was in the wall. We don't know why the developers put an invisible lantern in the wall, but it's there. It gives us charts. We don't know why, but we'll take it.
I mean, I'm not. Whoa!
There
All
is
right.
an optional teleport here, but it's another one of those where you have to stand still and wait for the ghost to move for a bit.
Yeah.
And this is that room I was talking about where there's a teleport that if you go for it, you are just a sitting duck in the sky.
Unfortunately, you have to forfeit like 3 lanterns worth of shards too, so
Yeah,
you know.
but I have enough.
You gotta keep in mind. Yeah, you grab the crystal.
And then we have our second death warp. Nice little time save here. And now we're pretty much at the end of the run. We have one more very important level. 3 more very important levels. But one more really important. One would say a key, if you will.
Yeah. Now, if I remember right, I'm pretty sure that Autumn Hills is the only one in this entire run that we actually visit 3 times. Because we got it in 8-bit, and we come back twice after second quest starts.
Yeah. I think that's right. If you want to count.
Oh, you know what? Glacial.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I forgot about
Leaving
that.
Glacial and then coming back after Skylands.
That means Glacial's 4.
4?
Well,
Yeah,
because
right, yeah, you're right.
getting to Manfred, leaving Manfred, and then going up to Skylands.
Yeah.
Very true. I always appreciate this revisit of Autumn. These screens are harder than they look just because there's usually not a floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, over time, bottomless
Common
pits opened
theme.
up.
That just becomes very normal as you progress.
Yeah, common theme of remove the floor.
And then we have the lovely boss room that I don't know what this is supposed to be, but there's 2 falling things here, and there is an optimization in this room. Oh, it's okay. That's a weird optimization where you can like jump and slash and get the Hansan at the end of the room. But you have to make sure you slash late enough that it hits the projectile, but you jump early enough so that by the time you fall, you will be at the right spot. It's very, very weird optimization.
Yeah. Time to finally say hi to Forlorn again. This time it's a lot scarier.
Great track. I think this is probably, it's definitely in top 3. I don't know if I can put a number on it, but this song is so good. I particularly love the sound effect that you're about to hear. Yeah, that's what I can hear.
Ow.
Yeah, a lot of the usual run and hit a switch or run and change time and go back and do the room slightly different.
Yeah, most of these rooms they force you to change the time, but this is one of the examples where shurikens bend time, so that's say whatever, okay. We'll take
We're
it.
very grateful for that. There's a lot of back and
Those-
forth with Riz ropes that we just don't want to deal with.
Hello.
Oh, thank you, Health.
I did not know that health pot was there.
I didn't either. I think that was a random drop. The only ones that I know of are in like the spawn rooms.
Right. We want to kill that guy.
Yeah, because if he hits me while I'm on the rocket, it dies.
Yeah, those things are super annoying.
Well, I didn't want to do that.
Oh, the needle here is so scary.
That jump is so dumb.
Yeah, it's hard. And this is a room that, with this much health, you can opt to sort of get hit by them and try to wall climb and do all sorts of shenanigans, trying to go fast in this room, but this room has killed me more times than
The whiz robes in this room are trolly.
Yeah, big time.
There's actually a cool way to do this room called Carter Crushers, where you saw the bats that were in the room. You can actually leave them alive and hit the switch from the other side, and then use the bats to get over the crushers that will eventually come up. It's a cool little skip, but very, very difficult to do.
Yeah.
There's only a little bit of time, and you go back to like 3 rooms before that, so it's not worth it.
Yeah, 3 rooms in Forlorn is a lot bigger of a deal than 3 rooms in another level.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, there is another potential of slashing something through the wall there to get that switch at the top. And
Yeah, the
skip
crystal
cycle,
abuse on that other side is really hard because you basically have to jump and slash and also get a cloud step and double jump. But in the time that you jumped and slashed and got the double jump, it's all within the same slash animation, and you have to make it to the very top and then turn around. It's like this convoluted thing, and just do it.
Well, we all can't be Grand, so...
Well, that's not true. There's a select few who are very good at it.
Yeah, I think we call that one the Grondabout.
Yeah. The Gron can do anything, it's not fair.
Yeah, true. He could slash through 3 tiles of wall if he wanted.
It's a time waster part 2.
Yeah, they're like, hey, we like this mechanic so much, so we figured we'd make you use it. Okay, that's fine, I guess. It's a mechanic that they only use in like one more level.
Yeah.
I always joke around that like all the levels up to this were like the lead devs, and then Forlorn was like, all right, intern, you got any spikes to add to our level? I like rockets. Okay, we'll put some rockets in the level.
Yep. Rockets and extreme difficulty. Best combo.
Rockets and then giants leading spike pits of death, because why not?
This room.
No!
Deathless.
Oh, no damage! Wow, I can't do that!
Oh, I said deathless, damageless, but yeah.
What in heck was that? That
Skill.
was gaming, chat.
Couple more rockets.
I hear y'all like saws and spikes. Cause here you go.
Yeah, luckily they just force feed you HP in these spots, but oh my god, this room is horrifying.
Yeah, really nice.
In that room, you don't actually die if you fall down, but you do waste a lot of time. There's a room below you there.
Yeah, that's it for Forlorn. Really, that was a really nice Forlorn.
Yeah, good job.
We finally get to revisit an old friend.
Yes, the guy who's apparently weak to sunlight, even though he was out in the sun. I don't know. We don't talk about it.
We don't talk about it. Yeah, this fight's hard.
This fight is very hard. To stay on him and combo him is very difficult. Very quick window to do so. And if you miss it, then he will pretty much kite you unless you go to all the way to the other side of the screen, and then you can fall down back on him again.
Yeah.
So this
This
is
is
pretty
the
technical
intended
fight.
way.
No, I missed it.
Oh, dang.
And it always changes based on, just like every other boss, there are damage gates. So based on
There we go.
Really nice climb there.
Yeah, huge climb.
And then we got a
Pretty
really
much
long
the boss
cutscene.
is dead. Like the way I like to think about it is that was pretty much the boss fight, and now we're playing Toho. So just live.
Baby, you better be careful.
Don't die.
Man, I get hit again. Really scary. Whoa, no.
Lucky guess on the rocket.
I'll tell you what I'd make with them, Poopa. I'd make a Super Mario World level. That's what I'd make.
Yeah, the only part you have to worry about in this fight is the climb as he's spitting the fireballs.
I mean, I'm liking the RNG on this gap right here.
Yeah, he's been giving you a nice pattern.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Okay,
well,
it wouldn't have mattered.
you're the room to the
you
rail.
gave you 2-1 gaps, but he debated you. You didn't have to actually dodge either of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, sunlight kills demons.
Naturally.
The demon was already in the sun. I mean, he is a giant eyeball. I mean, I could imagine if my eye was that big and I looked at the sun, I too would probably eviscerate. So that makes sense.
See, all I'm going to say here is Thanos snapped.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Too soon?
Wait for this very long drop cutscene.
Yeah, unfortunately, after getting all of the Phobikins and coming all the way through, you don't even get the last note. You're gonna go to where we get the last note. It's a lot to get the Key of Courage, whereas the other ones are just here you go.
Yeah. And that last item unlocks the second to last level of the game, which is one of the most horrifying stages in like a casual playthrough. The Corrupted Future is quite disgusting in both gameplay and just look at it. It's It's acid, by the way. That's not water.
We're traveling to the future that we're trying to prevent.
Hey, Min, can I cut in real quick with a donation?
Sure, absolutely.
All right, it's a $1 donation from Tempest Mask. He wants to say, "Good day, friends of PowerSpring. While I couldn't get a submission in on time, and though Min's run is the only one I got to catch live, I'm glad things went well. A wonderful total got raised for direct relief. It's been since Slurpathon since I saw Min slash things. But hey, all in good fun."
Well, thank you very much for that. That is awesome.
I'm so sorry. We should be leaving so much more room for donations. If you ever want to throw one in, please just tell us to shut up. This is actually a great spot for donations.
By the way, this run has been ridiculous. I know nothing about this run, and it's been like
the 80% of the treat. You don't get to see any of this in the more commonly run category. So this is pretty cool. But yeah, there is something that's going to happen at the very end of this level, which somebody mentioned something that they were really looking forward to. Which if you played this game casually, everybody remembers this part, the chase. Oh god, God. It's so scary. The worst thing about the chase is that unlike running away from Manfred, who goes at a set speed, this thing chases you at an accelerated rate based on how far away it is from you. It will make sure it is behind you at all times, just close enough to make you fidget in your seat.
Yep.
So yeah, everybody loves that in the casual playthrough, but we'll just leave it at that, I think.
Unfortunately, as spooky as this level is, it's a bit of a sleeper in the speedrun.
Yeah.
Kind of walk forward and smack fireflies and.
Yes. But here, we're about to come up and get the note.
We just gotta, go fast, and we got the.
Oh, crap!
You died.
He died. Panic.
Oh, just kidding, guys. See there. Look at that! Oh my God, we skipped the whole level. So yeah, people that have never seen this before. Basically, what happens is during cutscenes, ninjas can still move based on his momentum. He'll keep sliding. So. You collected the note, but then you died. So it puts you at the last place where you loaded, which is the beginning of this level. And when you collect the note, it's what starts the whole cutscene of the giant ugly boy just coming out of the acid, and then you have to run back, and it's just terrible.
Yeah, we just get to skip all that.
Standing right next to the door.
Yep, because it's the only checkpoint in here. Because the fun part is, technically there are two. When you collect the final note, there's a checkpoint there. But since I collected the note and then died, I didn't trigger the checkpoint, which is why I go all the way back to the front.
Yeah, it's fun stuff.
And real quick, if you have a donation that you'd like to go ahead, this would be a perfect time.
No donations, but I do want to thank Shark Hat for the raid. If y'all don't know, he ran Dead Space 2 yesterday. Yeah, Dead Space 2. So, thanks for the raid, Shark Hat. It was definitely a great game yesterday.
So here we missed a little bit of exposition. Phantom, who is basically the lead member of this whole organization that we are a part of, is trapped inside this music box, and we are to go save him.
Yep.
And this level is so good. This is my favorite song in the whole game. The combination of the 8 and 16-bit portions of this level are really cool. And the best part about this stage is that everything is linked with the music. So you notice all of the obstacles and the enemies shooting and stuff is linked with the music. So yeah, this is a really cool stage. Really, really hard.
There's going to be a couple of cool cycles that you can skip by going into a shop and resetting the music, because there's no snare beat yet when the music starts. So there's a couple of cool resets like that.
Yeah, there's 1,000,001 optimizations in this. There's even ways where you can either enter a room on a specific beat so that the obstacles will move in a particular way that you want them to, or you can pause in a particular manner that you will actually skip portions of the, like for example, the crushers won't move if you pause on the perfect frame when they would move. So little things like that, where the really good runners really know how to just completely break apart this level. But yeah, it's pretty great. A lot of the beginning portion of this is just kind of clean movement until really sort of the last 4 or 5 rooms of this level. It's pretty much just you can die everywhere.
Oh yeah, tons of hazards. Really fun stuff all around.
There's a room coming up in here.
Are you gonna see Rhythm Bird?
No.
Rhythm Bird in RPG.
No.
Yeah, good. This strat coming up is an example of a strat that's only available to you if you walk in on the right beat, which he did, but you would have to have perfect movement going on the bottom of the crusher, then following by kiting the bird in the perfect manner where you are able to rope dart that ring down there with a cloud step, and you just fly right under all of these crushers, and it's really, really scary because you pretty much kite the bottom of like the death zone on the bottom.
Yeah,
so
you're just
one
scooting
of the
right on
scariest
the bottom.
to do right at the end of the run for sure.
That is the only room that scares the ever-loving crap out of me.
Even going through it normally like that is just so stressful. Not a good time in general. It's probably one of the hardest like actually run feasible strats. That's not like the 3 tiles, silly things like that.
Well, we mentioned that the room is connected to the music. So when you enter the shop and leave the shop, it resets the music. So we can use that to sort of cheese some of these cycles in the room and sort of have the room move the way we want it to. Otherwise, those crushers are awful.
Yeah. The closing ones are not fun.
There's actually something you can do in this room too, where if you enter it on, I believe the second or fourth beat, right, like the frame of the second or fourth beat, they will either be all on or all off, which they're usually alternating as like individual platforms. But when they're all on or all off, that's a very, very awful pattern to get for sure. But that means you're also perfect at entering the room. Also, yummy eats!
Got a couple more of those.
I normally pause in this room to get a certain pattern, but I felt comfortable enough taking the risk on it.
Also, in this room, there are so many ways to die on these rotating platforms.
Yeah, this is a really cursed room.
Wouldn't even know. Don't even get me started on those dumb platforms. Oh, we're gone. It's fast. I don't have to think about it anymore.
I know Granius has had some really crappy deaths.
Oh,
Nice.
That's a very scary cycle skip.
Yeah.
There's a cycle skip in this room that's really, really cool. Really nice combination of movement here. See if we can get it. Oh,
Unfortunately, no.
I could have said nothing. I'm so sorry. You had it. It was that dumb blue kappa. He had pixel perfect.
Oh, not again. Okay.
They're snipers. What do you expect?
They really are.
So if I had got it right, I would have come in right as it was on that bottom thing before it went down, so I would have just skipped this entire cycle right here.
Yeah, and that's not easy to get for sure. That's a very difficult combination of lots of little movements.
But, you know, just missing the cycle is the same amount of time loss as falling down there, so.
Yeah, it's
We'll,
not.
we'll
It's not a
pretend
crazy
you
time
just missed it.
So here, are we gonna go for it? Oh, pixel
Yeah.
perfect circuit. Hey, nice.
Good stuff.
For the record, I believe.
Oh yeah. Another quick little.
Yeah, earlier we picked up the shuriken upgrade to where our shurikens will refill when we touch our checkpoint. So
Oh, yeah, that's right.
that room is really just kind of, you just hit the checkpoint, you just turn left and right and shoot 2 shurikens. But without the checkpoint, it's a little annoying because you have to, because those shurikens won't go through stuff. But with the upgrade, they will. Here's another,
Yeah.
the last instance, I believe, of resetting the music in order to stop the cycle.
Yeah, you can see what the Crusher's doing, we're doing, and yeah, we don't want any part of that.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
That's a tricky one to beat.
That's
That's
a
one where
really
you have
hard
to enter on the right beat.
Yeah, if you don't enter on the right beat, yeah, it's impossible.
If I can jump right.
Nice.
No, that's the Crusher's fault.
Really tight jump. And nice. And now there's this room, which I mean we can always go faster in this room, but this room's not scary. And we're pretty much at the end of this amazing category. I want to take a moment to appreciate everyone that made this possible, particularly Rainbow Dragon Eyes for this amazing music, Sabotage for this amazing game, miinfin for this amazing run, and Powerhouse Marathons for making this possible.
Yeah, the fun part is like I was actually on a pretty decent run, and I was practicing for this, and I got a top 10 time that did have room for improvement. So I was really hoping I'd get that out here, but oh well. Marathon happens.
Yeah, this has been a phenomenal run altogether.
Yeah, especially considering a marathon run. I mean, I would have loved to get this on streaming, you know? How about marathon run? Sheesh.
Here's our last boss, Phantom. He's being controlled by the mask.
So this boss, just similar to all other bosses, there are particular damage gates which will make them do particular attacks on certain damage thresholds. But for the most part, whenever he reappears and attempts to shoot you with a ball, there's a
I got the teleport.
where you can get on the other side of him.
That's actually going to accelerate some of the cycles right there, getting that extra damage.
Crazy. Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, a little bit bad RNG here with the amount of damage that we've done to him, so we got one of the longer spaces here, but that's okay.
Well, we actually get this regardless.
We'll see. How does he handle? Oh, perfect! Nice. Good job getting to the wall. That can be a little tricky.
Nice.
Let's go. That was a very
Good
clean
fight.
phantom fight.
Yeah. Since I got the teleport,
It's not time just yet. Time is coming up in a
Yeah.
little bit, though.
Yeah,
since I got that teleport, I got extra damage there, which was great.
Yeah, rope dart is very OP.
Yes.
You just kind of match it and become invincible.
Oh, that's supposed to hurt me? Nah.
Nah. What are laser beams? Yeah, they even gave you that nice hook on the top to like rope around and really just be a dodge. You know, be a ninja and dodge stuff. We don't do that.
Oh, hey, there's a character that we forgot to save.
Okay, chat. It's time. Everybody, give us your A's.
Get your O slashes.
Your O
Your
slashes
A's
and
ready. Do the thing. Also, ready on time. It'll be once the mask shatters. Spoiler, the mask is gonna shatter.
How could you spoil it? No.
But he didn't say how it's going to shatter. Boom! Time!
GG, what a run.
Yeah. It was a 155. That still
Oh
beat
my
my old
Hey,
PB
sub
on the
two, let's
splits.
go. Sub 2 marathon run. That's amazing. Good job,
Yeah,
Miinfin.
that's so good.
Oh! Woo!
Wow. Amazing
Oh.
run. Once again, I want to give a shout out to the Power. Oh my god, I can't speak right now. PowerSpring marathons right now.
Powerhouse
Thank you so much.
marathons with
Powerhouse
PowerSpring.
Marathons. Think this is an amazing opportunity. Thank you for having us. I hope you enjoyed the messenger run. My name is 7D. I stream on twitch.tv occasionally. I like to play piano and this game, which, as you can see, is pretty freaking sweet. And our lovely commentator beside me, who I wish was beside me on a couch, but that's okay. One day, very soon. Free Waffle streams as well. Please check his stream out. He's a much better runner than I am. And miinfin as well. Fantastic runner, as you can see. Thank you, everybody. This was an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, so I now actually opened up Chrome so I can look at the stream. Poopa L3. Thank you very much, guys. L3, you have a great night.
Yeah, thank you all the Bamboo Boys that decided to show out in chat. I appreciate it.
Although I will say on that, I know that we call everybody Bamboo Boys, but there's been a lot of people that have been trying to be a little more inclusive, so I've started calling this the Bamboo Crew. Whether everybody picks up on that or not is a different thing, but
Bamboo
I think
Crew
that's a way better ring.
yeah.
sounds
So
way nicer. I will not lie.
we got
And I have just
Necro, our
adopted
yeah. So we got Necro, our neighbor, Bamboo, Klausner, our companion, Pyro, our pal, and Acro, our ally. So that way we aren't using boy on any of them.
That's so good.
But thank you very much. I do stream probably about 3 to 4 times a week, generally especially this month. I am doing Messenger marathons 4 different times this month, including tonight. So, yay. I'm going to be doing this a lot. But thank you very much for having me tonight. I want to say did we end up getting a bonus run at the end of this because we shattered the original goal so much? Or
We were going to try to do it, but unfortunately some things fell through trying to get another run in. But I want to say thank you so much for that run. It was definitely great, and thank commentators, y'all made it even better. Yeah. So any last words for you fellas?
No, just thank you
Play the
thank you so
messenger.
much for please play our game. It's amazing.
Yes.
You will
It
love
is
it.
great.
Even if you don't speedrun it, you will love it.
yeah, if you love Metroidvanias, it is a fantastic game. Play it in English so you can actually read the storyline. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it
But-
really is. It's a thoroughly enjoyed playthrough, no matter.
But yes, thank you all very much. And with that, I'll pass it over to you.
Enjoy the rest of
All
your
right.
run.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys. And that was, definitely lived up to the hype of the main event of the last night of the marathon. I want to give, quick shout out to every single person here right now, whether you donated or not. Thank you so much for hanging out and just making this run amazing. We raised a grand total of $1,066 for direct relief, which is freaking nuts considering last November when we did this, we raised $350. So they, I guess, wanted to say $350 was the original goal, and we shattered that day, and we have freaking wrecked it by day 3. So thank you so much to everybody. Definitely, Direct Relief is a great charity. They help out people in need, and with COVID-19, there's a lot of people in need right now. So I want to just say thank you to Kat, Razor Flame, Kuno, every single person that's been helping with modding, every single runner. Thank you all so much, and definitely keep track of us. I know that last one was in November. But yeah, hopefully we will see y'all soon. Again, I cannot tell you how much it means to me that y'all, all over the course of the last 3 days, gave so much hard-earned money in such a hard time for everybody for such a great cause. So yeah. And with that, I guess we will end this glorious 3 days with, I guess, like I said, one of the most hype main events we could have asked for. Thank you so much, miinfin. You're the best, bud. Thank you to all of y'all in chat hanging